Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you for joining the Fresh Approach Fitness Wellness Company's podcast. This is episode 107, and you are totally going to love today's episode. Here's why. Are you paralyzed by perception? We are going to dig deep into this, and I want to start off by saying it is so easy to get caught up in being paralyzed by perception. You know, even me stepping up and doing these podcasts and making a commitment to do podcasts regularly, sometimes life happens, right? And when life happens, we get the perception that we're not good enough or that we're not on track. Or we've gotten off course for a little bit and now we don't know how to pick things back up because the perception that we have is that we shouldn't have fallen off track in the first place. And then we beat ourselves up. But here's the thing, we don't need to. I can pop up in here right now and say, guys, I'm so sorry. You know what? Life got crazy. I fell out of my routine after 2 years of consistently showing up every single Monday, which started off every single Sunday night, every single Monday now to do these podcasts. And I could sit here and profusely apologize for being human. I can sit here and say, oh, well, maybe I better not go back to it now because I missed a week or two or whatever it might look like. Or I can show up anyway. I had to pause because you can hear Hannah and Gizmo just going at it. Normally when somebody walks by, that's exactly what we get, is a little bit of Hannah and Gizmo saying, good morning, world. But anyways, that was a sidebar. You know I'm real. You know I'm at home. You guys have been following me for quite some time now. And if you're new, thank you. Thank you. And if you're not new, but you've been consistently following me, whether through my podcast or through different platforms, again, I want to say thank you. Thank you for doing what I am doing, continuously showing up anyways, and not being paralyzed by perception. Guys, life's going to happen. You know, when it comes to leading your best life and following the life of your dreams, I want you to give yourself permission to get back up, brush yourself off, and get back on the horse. It is so easy to get swallowed up by the perception of what other people expect of you, whether it is your coworkers, whether it's your family, whether it's your partner, whether it's your spouse, whether it is your parents, whether it's society, whether it's what you are putting on yourself. That is huge. It's normally the expectations of other people married with the expectation of ourselves that gets us in our own way. So we're gonna dig in and talk about that. So more often than not, New Year's resolutions don't come to fulfillment. And you don't need me to say, go look it up if you don't believe me. You already believe me. I know you believe me because you probably have made more than one New Year's resolution in your life, right? And why it's so easy to give up instead of trying these things is because we get paralyzed by the perception that it's hard. What if we could make it easy? By making it easy, we come up with our reason why. By making it easy, we come up with bite-sized plan and different ways of staying on track for when the days get hard. And we remind ourselves constantly of our why. Why is it important? Because if your why is not big enough, and it doesn't matter if it's weight loss or whatever your New Year's resolution is, I'm just picking one thing right now. But if our why isn't big enough, we are not going to show back up at all. We're going to give up on ourselves and stay there. We're going to give up on ourselves and not go back. We are going to simultaneously forget that we are in charge of making our life happen. That the spectacular life that we have is meant for us. And you can only go so far doing things the way you've been doing them and still getting results. It's about balance. It's about believing in yourself and ignoring the noise. So what were some of your goals 6 months ago? And yeah, we're going there. What were some of your goals in January 1st, 2022? Typical ones: lose weight, save money, Maybe get a better job. Maybe find the love of your life. Some of those you can control. Some of those you can take action on. But where are you? Did you reach your goals? Did you give yourself a good sense of accomplishment so far this year? What have you accomplished? Or have you been paralyzed by perception? Perception and judgment of what other people might think. Perception and judgment of what you might think if you fail. Is that what's stopping you? So I want to talk about a program I'm running this week. If you get a chance, you might want to plug into this one. It's called my Kickstart Nutrition Sprint. So it's a sprint because it's for 4 weeks only. And here's the questions I want you to think about asking yourself before you think about, another program and la-di-dee, la-di-da. I've actually put some questions together for you that I really want you to pause, write them down, and reflect. How do you keep the promises you make with yourself? First of all, that's your first question. Okay? So I'm going to repeat them again. First question, how do you keep the promises you make with yourself? The second question, did you make a health and wellness goal in January? So if you did, I want you to break it down, list on that piece of paper what those goals were. You can just identify what those goals were. You don't need to go into detail. Now, where are you with that goal or those goals? Specifically to do with health and fitness. So those goals that you made in January, where are you with those goals? No judgment. We are not adding any perception as to whether or not you should be further along. I simply want you to write down the information without feelings or judgment. And the last point I want you to consider, what will happen if you continue to take the exact same action you are doing now? So let's be clear what I mean by that. If you've been doing absolutely nothing for the first 6 months of your year in 2022, and yet your goal is to release 15 pounds, and you've taken no action, do you think you have gained weight or lost weight or stayed the same? Now think what's going to happen if you continue on this path. I'm not answering these questions for you, but I know you're listening here to this particular podcast and other podcasts similar to this, and you wouldn't be doing so if you weren't interested in betterments and improvements in your life, right? You just wouldn't be. And yes, of course, life happens. Yes, of course, we have other responsibilities. We don't typically make ourselves the number one priority. I feel blessed when I'm able to coach clients and we're able to rearrange their priorities to include themselves. That is huge. Because the perception that we've had, and yes, these are the key words I'm using all day with this particular podcast, paralyzed and perception. But the perception that we've been taught growing up is, you always put others first, other people are right, you open the door for other people, it's others, 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 others. What I teach my clients is how to take care of themselves, how to fill their own cup. Yeah, we've heard of that before, but seriously, how to stay accountable on your journey while you're going through it so you can indeed crush those goals. I actually did a post earlier this morning and I wasn't intending to. So for those that catch me regularly, Monday to Friday, typically on average over the last 2 years, I've been going live on social media. I go live on my personal Facebook and then I share it, and then I go live on TikTok, or I go and do an upload on TikTok as well, and I share that to my other communities. So after I did that this morning, I noticed a post, and then I put together a very quick one, and I didn't realize how surreal it was. But this is what happens when we take action towards our dreams. So Eleanor Roosevelt did an amazing post years ago, not a post, but a saying, and it says, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I added that quote to, a photo layout with a picture of myself to it in my 3 books that I've done so far. My Your Story Matters, the Design Your Life Your Way Getting Started Guide, and the Quarterly Planner. My friends, that is surreal. I never, ever considered myself an author before I did these books. Ever. You know those goals that you have? You need to go through, come up with an action plan, learn your why, and let's get moving on them. Stop being paralyzed by perception. So perception could include someone else's intentions or expectations. And then that's where the language and the dialect gets into the fields of miscommunication, right? And we all know this is the longest distance between point A and point B is miscommunication. So I want you to take other people's thoughts out of the equation. I want you to take your thoughts out of the equation. I want you to dig deep and understand your why. Once you know your why, you're going to be a little bit more motivated to take action. Now, I understand that some things are bigger than one step or one action. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, I go into avoidance. So when I get overwhelmed with my budget, for instance, I have a love-hate relationship with money. I hate to love it. I absolutely love it. I hate to manage it either, but I know that managing my money will get me everywhere. So I set the stage when it comes to that. I change my perception of doing my budgeting. I turn on the music. I light a candle. I have a nice cup of joe or a cup of tea. I set myself up in a nice, cozy environment. I completely change the experience because I know how important it is to manage my cash in and my cash out. Here's the thing. A CEO knows where her money goes, my friends. And it doesn't matter if it's money, if it's what goes in your mouth, if it's your relationships with yourself or with other people, if it's your mindset, or if it's the way you move your body. We are in the middle of June, and the days are quite warm lately, and it just kind of hit us like a brick. And I do have asthma, and I know I'm not the only one that has asthma, and I'm trying to get my running feet back, but I haven't been getting up early enough this week to actually get my movement in as often as I would have liked. The perception is, I missed one day. I can miss another. I can miss another. The perception could be, it's too hot. It's not good for me. You know what? Those are excuses. That is negative Nelly, and that's what I call her, my limiting beliefs, chatting away. I got up early this morning. I got on the bike. This week I managed to get 4 bits of movement in. I did a bike ride this morning. I went kayaking last Saturday. I went paddleboarding on Tuesday, and on Sunday I did yoga. Your movement doesn't have to be a walk or a run every single day. You can mix this up as long as you're doing more often than not. And this is what I want to do, is I want to give you a fresh perspective. Because we can get into our own heads about other people's opinions, even about our own opinion, even about the things that we feel we're doing right or wrong. I don't want there to be judgment anymore. Where has judgment gotten you in the past? Does it motivate you to judge yourself? It does not motivate me. I'm just saying. I've learned that it doesn't motivate many people whatsoever. So, let's go back and circle about those goals that you set for yourself in January. Where are you at? What are you thinking about? What is it that you would like to see done differently for the next 6 months? And how important is it to you to change the direction that you are heading in so you get those accomplishments done? Done. And it might be, honestly, £1 a week. It might be saving $1 a week. You start where you can. And that's where I'm here to help you. So if you get a chance, pop into my link tree. You're definitely going to want to take a look at the Kickstart Sprint, which I'm not sure if it says the 15th, but it actually starts the 20th. If you go in and take a click at that link, it starts on the 20th. Now, what can you do today to take action? You tell me? No, I'm kidding. I will tell you what you can do today to take action. You can write down your top 3 important things that need to be done. That's it. Now that those top 3 things are written down, you need to identify, of those 4 categories, meals, movement, mindset, and your relationship with money, Of those 4 categories, where does your goal fall into? And if you have a goal for each one, that's fine. Identify a goal for each one. Now, I want you to understand, why is it important to you to reach that goal? Really get clear on your why. And I can certainly help you get clear on your why, but without clarity, you're not going to take the right action to propel yourself forward. You're not going to be able to get back on that horse when you fall off, and you're not going to be able to jump back on track without a strong enough why. So maybe you have a bunch of amazing clothes that you already want to wear, and you just don't know where to choose first, or you know that nothing really fits, or they don't fit the way you want them to fit. Or maybe you just want to have less brain fog and less bloating in your belly. Because no, you should not be bloated each time you eat. I could sit here and list off a whole bunch of things, but this isn't about me. This is about you putting your plans into perspective, understanding your why, and then breaking it down to simple actions to get started. We're going to wash away the noise by settling in on our goals. So a good story is last night I actually, Tony and Nathan went to football and they had practice, and I decided to go to Chapters. Now Chapters isn't in my small town. It's actually in London, which isn't that far for me. It's a 20-minute drive maybe. I'm sure you are all familiar with the price of gas these days. So most people aren't doing driving that they don't need to be doing. They're walking a little bit more or just staying home. Well, because for those that are catching this recording, gas here in Canada is over $2 a liter. That's very pricey. You're talking $100 to fill up a small car, if not a lot more than that for bigger vehicles. So people are trying to be a lot more cautious. But I went to Chapters. I had this desire to search for a particular magazine. I went in there and I'm like, looked at the magazines, looked at the books, browsed briefly. But I was literally in and out of Chapters in less than 10 minutes. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling spending the money. I wasn't feeling taking a look around. Now, in true honesty, I could not find what I was looking for. So somebody could say to me, their perception could be, but it's a waste of gas in today's society. Driving there to look for something you could look online. Here's the thing. The drive cleared my head. The drive gave me a chance to just be in the wind, be in the car, put my windows down, have a change of scenery, and listen to personal development on the way there, and listen to music on the way home. Just going out changed my goal, changed my desire to spend money, completely changed my perception. I took action. I came out with a different resolution, and that's totally fine. I don't have to buy anything whenever I walk into a store. And neither do you. And we don't have to have the perception of we can't go anywhere, or all of our resources that are at our fingertips, or the bigger perception of, well, that was just a waste. Says who? So that was not a waste to me at all. It gave me clarity. It helped me settle down for the evening. I came back after that. I did some journaling. Then I listened to some chakra music or alignment music a little bit before I put on an episode of Chicago Fire, because that's what I'm enjoying right now on football nights. But the perception of it may be being a waste of time, or expensive on gas, or having any other thing to do. Of course, those expectations are there. Of course, those could hold people back. But I went, I looked, I discovered, I had a great night. I opened up a lot of clarity. And I didn't end up purchasing anything. So don't let the perception of others, or even of yourself, hold you back in any way, shape, or form from following your dreams. You are so worth it, but we need to understand what those dreams are. And the next thing is, you need to understand how worth it you are. You would never have been given these dreams if you were not meant to accomplish them whatsoever. Keep that in mind today. You know, when it comes to your life is meant to be full of inspiration and full of self-satisfaction. And if that is not where you're at right now, we need to chat, and we need to chat sooner than you realize, because we're not promised the gifts of tomorrow. We're not promised that everything is suddenly going to fall into alignment. No, not normally. Normally when we step out of alignment, we have a hard time getting back into alignment because it seems like everything else does not go our way. And that's what happens when we get paralyzed by perception. We could get a message from somebody and suddenly think a different experience than what was intended, a different mindset, a different conversation. I want to share something with you. This is actually, these are some of the words that are on my vision board. And if you haven't done a vision board, I've done 2 so far this year. And this one right here, I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of paragraphs that I put together on here. And it's exactly what I needed to hear at the time. But I want you to hear them in terms of the relationship of being paralyzed by perception. That's the mindset I want you to go into as we listen to what I'm about to share. I'm different. Always have been. It took a while, but I've accepted that I am a magic not meant for everyone to understand, so they question me. That's okay. I will stay in my lane, being all magical and stuff. Right? Who else is magical? Here's another good question for you. What does it take to inspire you to do something new every single day? Great example here. On Sunday coming up, Tony's going skydiving. I actually got him that for his birthday last year. He's going to use it this Sunday. And wow, right? That could paralyze so many people. But it's not paralyzing him. You know, what did I do for the first time the other day? I went paddleboarding. What new experiences are you having on a regular basis? Here's one of my favorite quotes right here. That's on my vision board. She had a gypsy soul and a warrior spirit. She made no apologies for her wild heart, and she left normal and regular to explore the outskirts of magical and extraordinary, and she was glorious. How does that make you feel? Do you feel glorious? Do you feel like you are stepping into inspiration just by listening to this? Good. That's exactly what I want. I want you to show up and be the sparkle in your life. I want you to show up and understand that it's about balance, but without getting started, you're never going to get anywhere. Nothing different is going to happen. Because there is only one real happiness in life, and that is the happiness of creating your best life. My friends, I'm here to help you get that. I'm here to help you get there. I have plenty of resources available for you on my link tree. I will make sure it's here. You can certainly sign up for the session that starts on Monday the 20th, even if you catch it late. Then take one of the quizzes if you haven't done so already. Or there's different resources. The Essentially You course is available for download. You can catch that whenever you want to. But take action today. What area are you going to take action in of your goals from 2022? What area today are you going to stop being paralyzed by perception? Whether it's yours or somebody else's, you're going to put one foot in front of the other and take action, and I want to hear all about it. Because life is meant for spectacular adventures, and you cannot have those spectacular adventures when you are paralyzed by perception. When you are afraid of making a mistake, when you are afraid of not continuously being successful, my friends, you didn't come this far in your life to only come this far. That's it. That's what showing up every day and being the best version of you is all about. So I will speak to you all next week. I actually have a couple of interviews I'm going to be uploading to my podcast series. Some that I've been in, two of them that I've been in. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to upload them here, and super excited to share them so you can learn a little bit more about me, what's going on behind the scenes. But don't forget, on the link tree, you're going to find all of the social media handles. I love engaging with each and every single one of you. So go ahead, click those, follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. It doesn't matter, even YouTube. But guys, we always grow together when we don't do things ourselves. There's an old saying, and I use this all the time when I'm running. Oh, I think I just lost one of our umbrellas again. I've got to learn to close those a little bit more. It's in the back. I just saw it. Sidebar. So sorry. Now you know I'm treating it like we're friends, because if I sidebar, you know I think of you as a friend. So, my friend, I want you to think about everything today and reach out to me and let me know how I can support you. Is it through one of my books? Is it by joining the book club mastermind? Is it by working together? Because one of my favorite sayings is, if you want to go far, go by yourself. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a friend. And I am the friend that is wanting to lock arms with you so you can grow and succeed and show up as the best version of you. Make it a fantastic day, and I will speak to you all next week.